Do you think the Padres are one of those teams that will benefit this year, not being the big favorite? There's going to be a fan fest, but it's going to be when the season technically has already started. They announced that I think last week. But because I'm thinking about the Mookie Betts quote, obviously that got a lot of play from FanFest, and he was talking about how every other team it's going to be their World Series, and I don't think that he's like wrong about that. But it reminded me of Tatis last year at FanFest. Doesn't matter who, we're going to go win the World Series. Essentially that's what he was saying. And it's just like, well, Padres, they're not going to have that target on their back. The target's on the Dodgers. And the Dodgers, for me, regular season, we know what they're going to do. But in the postseason, I know a lot of Padres fans have bookmarked that Mookie quote, and they've bookmarked probably a lot of other Dodger fans celebrating Ohtani and Yamamoto and saying World Series bound. But in the playoffs, they come up small, and they've done it year after year. So really, for me, with the Padres, it's about getting in. Like I said on your show, get in and then see what the heck happens. But do you think the Padres, getting back to my question about not being the favorite, being the underdog, maybe there's more hunger in this year's team? I think that could be a good thing with Mike Schilt as the manager as well.
I think when the microscope isn't on you as much, right? When all the lights aren't shining bright on San Diego, then it's going to help. I don't think it can ever hurt if there's less attention, less to deal with in the media after games, and just like you said, less pressure to perform. It doesn't mean they're going to perform worse. It often means that it eases concerns. And yeah, I think it usually leads to a better ball club. I mean, Arizona is a prime example of that from last year. No one was talking about the Diamondbacks before the season or even during the season or even in the playoffs. By the time we got to the postseason, we're like, oh, cool, maybe they can upset the Brewers in the first round. And that was it. So I think the Padres will thrive from that. Less attention on them coming into this season, even though there's plenty of star power there. And yeah, all of the attention is going to be on the Dodgers. But still, talent wins games. And I agree with you on Mike Schilt being there and making a difference, only because there was clearly a ton of drama between A.J. Preller and Bob Melvin. And Bob Melvin had not experienced that in the past. He is a good manager. So this is someone else coming in who has already worked with AJ, and that alone will make a difference. It is a tough situation when the manager and the GM are not on the same page, and there's all kinds of shit going down behind the scenes that I think Ken Rosenthal and Dennis Lin and some of those writers over at The Athletic documented really well throughout the season. And let's not forget that AJ told us all that Melvin was coming back, and then they handed him to one of their division rivals with no compensation. So clearly they did not get along. That alone will also make a difference. All of that tension, all of those negative distractions always lead to more of a problem. You want players to come to the ballpark, not feel the heat, and also have fun. That matters, especially in today's game because it's a different game, right? We're trying to be a little less serious, let young players thrive. It's a younger man's game these days. So all of that, I think, will help San Diego. But at the end of the day, will the pitching be healthy? Will the stars be stars? Manny Machado is a big key for me. Like, is he going to be a 10, 15% better than league average bat, or is he going to be 50% better than league average? We know he's capable of that, and he's still in his prime. So if he goes off again this year, it's a different ball club.
And then Xander with the wrist injuries that he was dealing with, and he's had a history of that. But him being able to stay healthy, because when he wasn't dealing with the wrist stuff, he was very good. Really good start to the season. I believe a really good end to the season. But it was, and then right after he got the cortisone shot, I think at the All-Star break, he was really good right after that as well. So it's really about health there. And then, health in the rotation. Darvish, Musgrove, those two guys are going to be huge because there's question marks after that with Michael King. It's kind of like Seth Lugo going into last year. Is he going to go the entire year as a starter? Health-wise, what's going to happen there? And then other guys after that, looking at it right now, I mean, the Padres need more depth, in the rotation.
And the outfield. Dude, you need three outfielders. Do they know that yet? I mean, I know they're going to try Jackson Merrill out there, and Marksy looked really good in the Arizona Fall League. But, I mean, in my mind, if you are trying to be a fringe wildcard team, an Eddie Rosario type on the free agent market would make sense to have as some depth because injuries occur and you just don't know what you're getting from young players, right? Most of the time it takes an adjustment period. So if you're trying to compete, that outfield is not going to cut it.